Next question, please.
Am I audible?
You are.
I'm Kieran Lynch. I live in Alexandria, and I'm pleased we've heard a lot about childcare tonight because I'm talking about the other end of life, which is where I happen to be situated, and I've discussed this question tonight. There are really two of them, with a number of people, some of whom are too shy to come. At present, Sydney Council has an excellent range of programs which help the ageing stay in their own homes. Will each candidate undertake to continue these and not to cut funding to them and perhaps enlarge them if they can see wise ways of doing it? First, easy question. Second, however, when people have to leave their homes, whether because they want to downsize or they need supported living, they are faced with huge life changes exacerbated by finding themselves having to move out of the council area and cut off from familiar contacts. This is a hideous experience for people who go through it, and probably some of you have had people in your family go through it. So, as we move in the city through a period of intensive building development, will candidates look at inducing developers, I'm sure you have means, perhaps by tax concessions, to include 3 or 4% of units in their residential buildings with disabled access doors, showers and stair-free access, in affordable housing and also in the general new housing stock. And perhaps too, the taller and larger developments could include a floor or two of hostel accommodation for older people run by a proper aged care management. It does happen in other cities.
Thank you, Kieran. I'm going to ask the council to perhaps give it almost not exactly a yes/no answer. Yeah, we might start about it. Thank you.
The first question is yes, and the second question is I think that's a very interesting proposal, and certainly we could, in negotiations with developers through voluntary planning agreements, consider that, and that's certainly something that I think is a very good idea to take on board for the next council.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I actually support everything the Lord Mayor has just said. I've just had to move again because my mother's coming to live with me and I want her to stay with me rather than go into aged care, and we had to get rid of stairs and change a lot of things, and planning is one of those, and you'd be surprised suddenly how narrow everybody makes things and inaccessible for when you start to get in a different part of your life. And I think it's not just a great opportunity, but it's good for the rest of the family to have all our family together for as long as possible. So absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, and yes, absolutely.
Well, I can follow the trend and say yes and yes. Living in King's Cross, one of the things that attracted me to the area was its diversity. I think anybody on council should fight to retain that. I think it's wonderful to see the mix of people that live in the area. I think the City of Sydney should be applauded for not charging rates to pensioners. I certainly think that's something that should continue. In terms of the specifics of 3% of buildings, I would be kicked off particularly if I announced a policy like that without discussing with Christine, but certainly support the principle, yes.
Definitely yes to the first one, and yes, we would want to expand the access. So the Greens would like to see this program even expanded further so that the city does more to assist people so that they can stay in their own homes as long as possible. The second part, yes, excellent idea. This is one of the things that we've been discussing internally anyway. We would like to see that in each precinct, aged care facilities set up on the council so that people do not need to move out of their local area. Their friends are there, all their services are there. It is wrong to move aged people compulsorily away from where they are happy, where they are comfortable. So that sort of idea we would be fully supportive of.
Well, I'm delighted to say we have